Hello again, 8th graders. Happy Wednesday to you. Today you are going to need your packet, your Outsiders packet, and you need to open actually to the chapter 1 questions. You've already answered those 12 questions at this point, hopefully. And there is a Venn diagram after number 12 that I said we would go back to later. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, and that's what I'm going to ask you to do for your assignment for today is complete the Venn diagram. Another option will be if you'd rather not do it in Venn diagram format in your packet, which would mean you're going to need to take a picture of it and email it to me. If you'd rather type your answers out and just make a list of similarities and a list of differences on a Google Doc, I'll have that option for you also for you to turn in. So I recommend, though, that you use the Venn diagram. I think sometimes using a graphic organizer like this helps you to organize your thoughts and your ideas a little bit better than just making a list. So what we're going to be doing is comparing and contrasting the two groups that are important to this novel, the greasers and the socias. So if you're using the Venn diagram, you're going to need to write greasers over here and socias over here. And then I would like you to come up with at least 3 similarities where it says both. In the middle where the circles overlap is where you're going to write how they are alike, how they're similar. And then I would like you to have at least 3 differences as well in the outer parts of the circles. So you're going to put a number 1 here, a number 1 here, a number 2 here, a number 2 here, and a number 3 here, and a number 3 here. So that's how I would like you to set up your Venn diagram. I've given you an example for the first difference and also for the first similarity. So for the first similarity, I gave you an example. They both live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And then for the difference, I wrote for the greasers for number 1 from the east side of town. For number 1 over here for the socias, they're from the west side of town. So you are welcome to use those examples if you want on your Venn diagram, if you want to write something different, or if you want to add more. Like, you don't have to stop at number 3 as far as differences and similarities. You could keep going and come up with probably, well, several similarities and several differences based on what we've read so far in the book. My recommendation, I probably should have told you this at the beginning, you should have your novel out as well. If you have your novel right there, great. If not, pause the video and go get it. This paragraph, I think, in chapter 1 will help you with this Venn diagram. If you turn to page 3 of chapter 1, the very first paragraph, Pony talks about differences between the socias and the greasers. So I'm going to read that paragraph on page 3 aloud to you, and I think it'll really help you with filling out this Venn diagram. We're poorer than the socias in the middle class. I reckon we're wilder too. Not like the socias who jump greasers and wreck houses and throw beer blasts for kicks and get editorials in the paper for being a public disgrace one day and an asset to society the next. Greasers are almost like hoods. We steal things and drive old, souped-up cars and hold up gas stations and have a gang fight once in a while. I don't mean to do things like that. Derry would kill me if I got into trouble with the police. Since Mom and Dad were killed in an auto wreck, the 3 of us get to stay together only as long as we behave. So Soda and I stay out of trouble as much as we can, and we're careful not to get caught when we can't. I only mean that most greasers do things like that. Just like we wear our hair long and dress in blue jeans and t-shirts, or leave our shirt tails out and wear leather jackets and tennis shoes or boots. I'm not saying that either socias or greasers are better. That's just the way things are. So that is a good paragraph to check out as you're comparing and contrasting. Some other things that you can take into consideration as far as similarities and differences are you can kind of think back to the conversation that Cherry had with Pony about what she thinks the differences are between the two groups. And also she says that there's something that they kind of all have in common, regardless of whether they're from the east side or the west side, Socher, Greaser, that things are something or other. So that's something to consider. You can talk about how they dress. How do the Greasers dress as opposed to how the Sochas dress? How do they wear their hair? That's also in chapter 1. The Greasers have a distinct hairstyle where the Sochas have another hairstyle, so you can talk about that. Talk about their background as far as which group is poor and which group is wealthy. You could talk about how society views each group, which one kind of takes a harder hit from the way people think of them. So a lot of different things to keep in mind as you're coming up with similarities and differences. I'll be interested to see what you come up with. So again, if you complete the Venn diagram here, you really only have to come up with 2 more similarities and 2 more differences. Or I'll have a Google Doc, take a picture of it, email it to me when you finish it, or I'll have a Google Doc ready for you to list the similarities and differences. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be going over the vocabulary quiz that I asked you to take, so if you haven't finished that, please make sure you do so. Take a picture of the front and the back of the quiz, and if there's some problem where you can't do that, please let me know. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.